Well, let's get you the latest when it comes to the Kerala nurse, the execution that is scheduled for the 16th. Well, hectic meetings are underway. This is the last minute efforts that are being put in order to stop that execution of the Kerala nurse who is in the dock for murder. The Malayali nurse who is on the death row at the central prison in Yemen's capital for the alleged murder of a Yemeni national is scheduled to be executed tomorrow. The hectic negotiations that have now been underway in order to save the nurse who was convicted for the murder of this is her partner in 2017. This was because he had confiscated her passport and wasn't allowing her to leave from Yemen. And in order to escape from his clutches, she had used a sedative in order to be able to escape. But that resulted in an overdose, and that resulted in the death of the Yemeni national. And do remember that efforts have been made in the past as well. And that is what was said to the Supreme Court in this particular regard. And that is what the central government had gone on to say, that they had done everything possible. The only option left is offering blood money to the family, something that we were hearing initially had been rejected by the family in the name of honor. But can that really work? We have less than 24 hours to go. Do remember that the execution that has been scheduled for the 16th of this month. Now the family, if the family decides to take the blood money, or perhaps the family agrees on pardoning the Malayali nurse, is something that everyone is pinning their hopes on. Do remember that there are negotiations that are now underway at the moment, at least efforts that are being put in as far as hectic negotiations that are taking place in order to save the Malayali nurse who was living in Yemen. And this is now we have breaking news coming in. We can confirm that the execution of the Kerala nurse has now been postponed. Nimisha Priya's execution, which was to take place tomorrow, the 16th of July, has been postponed. Do remember that all efforts, all negotiations are underway, and the only option that seemed to have been left was blood money. Ghazali, my colleague, joining us to get us the details. Ghazali, is it blood money that's being offered to the family, or there are negotiations that have basically postponed? This is huge relief coming in for the Malayali nurse who was facing execution in less than 24 hours time. Ghazali joining us to get us the very latest and breaking news coming in at this particular point in time. Huge relief coming in for Nimisha Priya, who was facing execution. That execution in Yemen has been postponed. We have Ghazali joining us to get us the very latest. Ghazali, take us through the only option that was available at this particular point in time. 24 hours to go. Was it blood money that the family perhaps has agreed upon, or perhaps pardoning the Malayali nurse in Yemen for the murder, for the death of the Yemeni national?
See, one of the Grand Mufti of India from Kerala, he contacted his friend there, a cleric in Yemen, in the Dara area, after which the tribal leaders, the family of the victim, and this cleric, they all sat together to discuss the case of Nimisha Priya. And in a gesture of goodwill, it was presented to the family that Nimisha Priya is a foreign citizen. She is not somebody who is Yemeni. She is not somebody who has done it out of a long a family feud or something. She did it out of compulsion, because the victim, the one who was who got killed, or on whose accusation Nimisha Priya was detained by the Yemeni government, was somebody who was her business partner, and there was no ill intention from Nimisha Priya, or she didn't have a long time conspiracy to kill her partner. Rather, it was her compulsion, because her partner or the victim had confiscated her passport and was pressurizing her to do illegal stuff. And that is why the tribal leaders, the local cleric there, on the intervention of this Kerala-based cleric Grand Mufti, they convinced the family to pardon Nimisha Priya. But as of now, we have only got to know that tomorrow was her execution date, and that has been stayed for now.
Right. Of course, also a meeting with the family has also been scheduled. Has that happened? Is it underway, or when are we expecting that to take place?
See, that meeting with the family member and the local tribal leaders started at around 12:30 India time, like just an hour ago. And just a couple of minutes ago, the meeting has concluded. It has been decided for now that Nimisha Priya's execution will be stayed, which was scheduled for tomorrow. Whether it has been finally, or whether she will be released and brought back, those confirmation and finer details are yet to be released from the External Affairs Ministry, because they're also in touch with the Saudi authorities. The Saudi embassy there, that was in touch with the local Yemeni government, which is controlled by the Houthi rebels. So finer details is yet to emerge, but as of now, the execution which was scheduled for tomorrow, that has been stayed for Nimisha Priya.
Right, very good news. A huge sigh of relief that all of us here back home can breathe. Thank you so much, Ghazali, for getting us that good news following the intervention of the Indian Grand Mufti and Sunni leader that has resulted in the, at least, the execution that was planned for tomorrow has been put on hold.